Tankor smash! Tankor turned all the Autobots into slag.
Oh my god, that's so adorable. So I think we need to find someone a little more adequate to your size to fight. I think this would be a more fitting battle.
Bring it on, Tiny.
Hey guys, welcome back to Super Important Reviews. My name's Steve, and today we're going to read the Transformers Generations Deluxe Class Tanker. And I have no clue who this guy is. I'll be right back. Alright, so there's an actual reason why I don't know who Tanker is because he's from Beast Machines, which is a series that I never really got into as a kid, and probably something I should actually look into watching again. Because when I was a kid, I really loved Beast Wars, and overall it's probably my favorite Transformers series next to the G1 and Transformers Prime. And even though I love that show a lot, when they transitioned into Beast Machines, I just couldn't really get into the show that well as a kid just because there was a lot of changes and I didn't really care for it. So it's something I probably should really get back into, especially after learning a bit more about Tanker, is that he's a Viacon general from that series, which actually the interesting thing is he has Rhinox's spark in him because I guess at the beginning of Beast Machines, Rhinox loses his spark and Megatron captures it, and eventually he wants to turn his Viacons into a little bit more of a deadly force, so he wants generals. So he ends up putting Rhinox's spark inside one of the tanks and makes Tanker. So now knowing that story actually makes me really want to go back and watch those TV series, which I heard it's actually coming out or is already out, but probably should get a hold of those. And from what I can see in the packaging, he actually, from what I see in pictures, looks pretty accurate to the show. But I'll know a little bit more after I get him out of the packaging. So for the packaging, I really love what they've been doing with the Deluxe Class series for the Generations line, where they have the IDW comics in the background. Because personally for me, that really makes a nice display item, especially if you want to keep it in the packaging. Like, that just looks really pretty. And then it shows him in his robot form down here, and it's part of the Thrilling 30s line. And another really cool thing is it has the Viacon emblem up here, which is also a really nice touch, and I really do like that. Also tells you over here that he's a Viacon as well. And then for the back of the packaging, has him in his robot form in his alt mode, which is a Cybertronian tank. Has a little bit of his bio down here, which isn't very impressive, but I guess overall he's not a very intelligent Transformer. And as you guys can see the bio here, which I'll bring in for a little bit closer so you guys can read it. Alright, good. Alright. Which pretty much just goes over just, overall he's a very strong Transformer and very destructive, but it's just, he doesn't have too much in the intelligence department, which is kind of odd with him having Rhinox Spark with him, so if anybody wants to chime in on the comments what that's all about, I really would appreciate it. And that's pretty much it for that. On the bottom, shows you some of the other characters in the line with Crosscut, which is just pretty much a reskin of Skids. It also has Brat Trap, which we'll be doing a review of very shortly. And I'm really excited about that guy. So, that's pretty much it. Let's get him open up out of his plastic prison. So first we're going to go over Tanker's accessories, which he comes with this giant cannon, which is actually based off the friction system and not spring-loaded, so there's no button to actually shoot the missile out here. So what you got to do is just cock this back and it fires the missile like so. And personally, I really love these things because with the spring-loaded ones, I noticed like eventually over time the springs will wear out eventually, or sometimes they randomly misfire in my game room and I gotta go hunting around for the missile. So on these ones, I don't really have to worry about that, and I really do love these. Plus, for kids, it's a little bit funner because you actually have to get a little more involved with the figure than just actually having to go. And it's actually got a decent range of motion right here too, because it's got a little hinge here so you can move it back and forth. So how you attach it onto Tankor is right here. You'll see there's this little hook. It attaches right here. You just pop it right in, and you just bring it down, fold it up, and you got his weapon, which actually looks really nice on him. And one thing I'm actually very surprised with this figure is that he looks very show accurate. Like overall, I just love the amount of details on him. Like I love the missile pods here on his chest. He's got this Viacon emblem here. Also, I really actually like these pincers right here because they'll open up and it kind of reveals this little gun thing going on right here. And he's also got, I don't know if it's supposed to be a chainsaw or an actual gear up here, but it can spin. So that's kind of neat. And chime in the comments if you know anything about this. Personally, I think that looks kind of cool. It has a very nice metallic blue paint job. And especially down here, he's got more of the blue. And same with on the back here. right here, it just looks like, I don't know, I guess I'd paint it too. So that looks really nice. And overall, like, I love the paint job on here. I think that turned out really awesome. And overall, he looks very reminiscent from the TV show. But my only major concern is he's not a very large Transformer because, again, with him being a deluxe class, it's just not going to be that large of a figure. Well, stay upright. Gets a little back heavy with this thing on. But from the actual TV show, he's a very large and opposing character. Like, he's more along the size of, say, Optimus Primal and Megatron, so it's like, I don't really get why he's a deluxe class, because he just has a very short stature with his little stumpy legs and whatnot, so that turns me off a little bit on him just because of that. And personally to me, especially never really watching Beast Machines, he just doesn't really keep up with the bio that I read on him. But overall, like, again, I just really love the paint on here. The molded details are actually very nice. His head sculpt could be a little bit better. I do like the silver paint on here and his red eyes, but it's just a very bleh kind of plastic on here, so. But then again, in the TV show, they didn't really have a whole lot of detail on it anyways on Beast Machines because from that era, just everything wasn't quite as complex looking because of just the way the computer graphics were. So I get why it's like that. It's just a little bit, I don't know, it just could use a little bit more detail up there. So overall in the detail department, I think he isn't really all that bad in this form. But getting into his articulation a bit, his head is on a swivel, so you can go look left and right, but you can't get it too much more because it just, the plastic gets in the way with the head here. His cannon can move down, you can also move back up. Pretty much get a lot of playability with that. His shoulders are a little bit hard to work with because his shoulder pad here is on its own little peg joint, and it also is connected to the arm that moves. So you can get it moving about that far out. And if you bring it back down, you can rotate it around. But you have to play with the shoulder pad a bit to get it to move around, so that's a little bit of a bummer. Like, you can't really rotate it all the way around when it's up, but a little bit out, you still get a lot of play with it. So that's could have been a little bit better. And then he has a rotation here at the bicep. He also has a bend here at the elbow. And then a rotation here at the elbow. Nothing up there, but there's one right here. Also has another bend here. So he's got a lot of play right there, which is a little bit awkward. And then his pinches here can move in and out, which is very nice. And the same with the gear here, can rotate. Nothing here at the chest. His legs are on little ratchet joints, so they can move up and down, back and forth. Nice range of motion there. It's also got a rotation here at the thigh, and a bend at the knee. Very nice as well. Also has a foot pivot, which is also pretty sweet. It gives you a little bit more posability with them. So his articulation is actually not too bad. It's just the shoulder joints could have been a lot better. But let's get him in the vehicle form and see how well that turned out. And here's Tankor compared next to the much larger Transformers Prime Viacon. And here's Tankor compared next to Hoist and Sprinter. And here's Tankor compared next to Optimus Primal with the surfboard. And here's Tankor in vehicle form, which, personally, I gotta say, I'm just not that impressed with this vehicle form. Especially if not been really into the TV show that he's from. It just looks pretty blah to me. Especially since his overall transformation is pretty much him just lying down, because literally, here's his body, here's his arms, legs, and his back. And it's just, it takes literally like about a minute to transform this guy, so it's very simplistic overall. Especially you can see the joints right here, which is one complaint that I have with this figure is overall he's got a lot of gapping, especially right here. And then where his legs are, it's just very empty right here. So there's a little bit of ugliness to it. But then, again, there's a lot of really nice things because a lot of the overall body mold comes across here because literally that's the chest and whatnot. So the paint still looks really nice in this form, and it's very eye-catching. But it's just not a very good-looking vehicle, personally. Like, I really don't like the head sitting up here, which is pretty much one reason why I didn't really get in that show, just because a lot of the character molds are just a little awkward, personally. But one positive thing this figure really has going for it is he's very reminiscent of the TV show. Because again, he has his head just kind of chilling up here, the giant cannon back here, and the overall color scheme is very reminiscent of the TV show. So for that, I really actually like this form more if I was a big fan of the show. So it looks nice for the show, but personally for me, it's just not something I'm really that into. So for some comparisons, here's Tankor compared next to another Viacon I have, the Transformers Prime Viacon. And here's Tankor compared next to some other generation figures with Hoist and Springer, and yes, Springer is just too good to put into vehicle form. And here's Tankor compared next to Optimus Primal on a surfboard. So overall with Tankor here, I gotta say I'm not very impressed with this figure. Because overall, for me, I wasn't really in the Beast Machines, and the main reason I got this figure is just because of my overall love with the Generation Toys line. And for him being a very simplistic Transformer, while also not really matching the scale that he really should be, it's just a little bit of a turnoff for me for this figure. Even though he does look fairly show accurate, especially with the overall paint job and the mold, it works really well for that TV show. But it doesn't really match up well with any of the other figures, or definitely with the scaling that I would have liked to have seen for that character. So personally for me, he would be a pass, but what do you guys think? Do you guys actually enjoy Tankor? Did you guys like Beast Machines, or do you guys just not like your animals being made out of metal? Please let me know in the comments. If you guys want to see closer pictures of them, I'm on Facebook. If you want to click the link in the description below. Please don't be afraid to share this video around, and if you like this and want to see more stuff like this, please give us a like and subscribe. Thank you guys for watching.